I heard lots of cats meowing before. Up till this day, I thought I heard every type of sound these cats can make. Some of them are actually concerning, some are really creepy. That's one more reason why shape-shifted jinns in the form of cats are so bone-chilling. But in the next video, we have Jack, a man who likes to collect vintage items and antiques and store them in his own 1920s house. He has cats in his house too, though they began acting a little strange lately. One of these cats is an orange cat, so it's up to their standards to act a certain way. By certain way, I mean acting like clowns, but this one wasn't acting in that kind of way. No, it was meowing like a demon almost. So, what happened? Well, I was driving to the hotel when I arrived. A gentleman asked me for the keys, and I was like, what kind of robbery is that? Though I realized I was dreaming since I don't even know how to drive. But when it comes to Jack's situation in the upcoming footage, the other day when he heard his cat meowing, he was worried. He began checking around. What's the matter? It didn't take long before a loud bang came out of nowhere. To be honest, in that moment, I really thought there was something that was knocked off its place. Then there were some papers on the table. They moved as if some breeze had blown them off their place, let alone the flowers and leaves in the flower pot that are shaking as if someone were blowing on it with a hairdryer. Jack was worried and thought there might be a window or a door left open, but all of them were shut. The cat kept meowing until another bang came from that very same room where the paranormal activity was going nuts. It turned out the chandelier was dancing around.
Right guys, I'm putting the phone out. These have been meowing like crazy by the bedroom door and like crashing into it as if trying to get my attention. What is it? What you want? Something going on? Hey? Hey? Come on. What's going on? What is it, guys? Whoa, it's cold in here. Hey, what is it, buddy? Oh, what? Oh my god. Yep, good idea. What the that? Hello? Is anyone in here? Hello? Show yourself. What? Are you doing this? Oh my god! There's like a wind. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? The room is so frigging cold as well. Come here, guys. Come here, guys. What? Look, it's swinging. I have not been near it. There's nobody else here. I'll show you as best I can. What? None of this makes any sense. How can this stuff be happening? What fell? What is that? What?
Don't be so surprised, Jack. You got what you paid for. In the end, living in such an old house and collecting such vintage items in that very same venue is the price you pay for, without even tips. I'm one of those who usually feels like something is touching their shoulders. Like, at times, I even go as far as slapping my own head, feeling as if something has touched my ear. You think that's crazy? Wait till you hear what I did that other day on the bed while I was resting my head against the pillow. I don't want to get into too many details, so let's get to what even started the conversation around someone touching someone else's shoulder. Claymore is one of these special people who are guarded by invisible guardians, stuff you only see in fantasies. The man the other night was on his desk watching some YouTube videos he had to censor for some reason when he felt like someone was on his back touching him. He said, "Honey, stop it. I'm not feeling it now." But the massage proceeded, so he decided to embarrass her by threatening to publish the video he had already been recording prior to her entrance to his room. But she never responded, so he had to turn 180 degrees to check on her, and he found no one. Little did he know that he was not married in the first place. How ridiculous. Of course it's ridiculous, because the story was partially made up by me. The only thing that was true is the fact that he felt like someone touched him on the shoulder, but he was completely alone. Since he is aware his house is haunted, he wasn't bothered by it much. But the door behind him is what caused him to take action, as it kept moving on its own. He had to take his camera and do a tour around to see if any other paranormal activity was taking place, but only a few faint tapping sounds occurred very briefly, so he had to go back to his desk and forget about it, though these ghosts didn't want him to rest, so they kept messing with that very same door that Claymore blocked from moving with an object. Smart move, Claymore. But how did he deal with the paranormal the other night? When someone was knocking at his door late at night, though clearly no one was in fact knocking. Or how about the other recordings from the kitchen, where the TV was turned on and the footsteps that were clear as night since it was recorded at nighttime, and that one chair moving on its own? That chair in particular I didn't notice, even though I have watched the video 3 times. I only saw it moving the 3rd time, which, if this means anything, indicates that I'm seriously getting older. My instincts are no longer as responsive as they were once. If a patient were to call for help or assistance using the call light system, which a patient usually uses to give alerts to doctors and nurses that they need something, and if the patient were to use that repeatedly and barely any time they answered him, of course, he would be very pissed, and after his passing, his spirit might come back to haunt the hospital where he used to reside. Now, where am I going with this? I really don't know. The location is giving me weird turns that lead nowhere. In the next video, we have Madeline. She is a hospice nursing assistant. She works night shifts in a care facility that looks after elderly patients, many of whom suffer from conditions such as dementia or require end-of-life care. As I said, one patient seems to be pissed off, or at least his spirit is, as she had been experiencing this creepy activity for several nights. One night she snapped completely and decided to investigate the case while recording. The alarm from that specific room went off again. She rushed towards it and found the light going off. She decided to enter the room on her own, but for support, she called her friend to look after her from a distance. As she entered, the room was completely empty, though what wasn't heard by her in the video but was captured was a sound calling for help. It said, "Help me."
Alright, this is for documentation. Proof to show my babe when I get home. This is the 3rd time. See that bathroom light going off? This is the 3rd time in my 12-hour shift. Mind you, empty room. I'm so scared right now, I swear to God, though. No one wanted to come down with me. I'm so scared to go in there. I gotta ask my coworker to watch me. Okay, watch me go in this room, please. I don't want to go in there by myself. I'm scared. Watch me go in there, okay? Oh, this old lady. Nobody. I know, but watch me, because I'm scared. Ain't nobody in here. Call light's up there.
To be frank, I myself didn't hear the help sound clearly. I read in the description of the video that it was recorded, but I'm not sure in which part it was heard. A man who goes by the name Novice Wild Camper has decided to visit a forest in the UK. Did I say visit? It sounds as if I'm talking about some friend's meeting or a museum. The man, and let's call him Callan, went to camp in a forest in the UK, a regular camping trip. He arrived at the location, decided where to set up the tent, and stayed the night comfortably. The end. So, that's the end you were wishing for, Callan. But it's not how indeed things actually happened. The man sleeps in his hammock as the night falls, and he can't see what's behind him. He began hearing sounds around him, and it sounded as if something or someone were approaching him. Since he is in the wild, he suspects it could be some deer, but what if it wasn't? Tree branches were falling near his tent, and on it, it was so random and unexplained that he felt like someone was indeed taking this action. He had to return to his car and complete his night there. Before he left the area that day, he encountered a man, someone mysterious, which brought up the stories of people who disappeared in that forest. I would have told you that you're good to go if he didn't make part 2, where he returned to the forest with full equipment, like an infrared camera, and only here where it got interesting, as the cameras capture lights that may not belong to animals. The weirdest part was the handprints on the trees, something out of a horror movie.
It's not exactly late, but I am very tired, and laying in a hammock does not help it. It's just too comfortable. There's a huge amount of noises around here. I've picked a chestnut tree wood, so there are chestnuts crashing around constantly. Sounds like Bigfoot's throwing rocks at the hammock. I've had a couple of near misses and a couple of hits, but yeah, going for a fun night. Right, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever done this. I'm actually sitting back in my car now. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. It was forecast to be dry all night long, and 3 o'clock it just started hammering it down with rain. That's not the issue. I sort of fell asleep to the sound of chestnuts crashing through the trees and hitting the deck, and it's the same sound every time, sort of crunch, 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 thump. After the rain started, I could just hear, and I know these are deer, muntjac, badgers, squirrels, whatever, but some crashing around that got nearer and nearer and nearer to my hammock, and every time I moved or got out to check, it stopped but didn't run away. So I'd expect if there was a deer or something, I'd hear it run off. But the weirdest thing was the rain started to die down, so it was just a tiny pitter-patter, and suddenly by my hammock a massive thud hits the ground and bounces, and I jumped up, unzipped it, put my torch on, and there's a rock on the floor that wasn't there when I went to bed. And I lay back down, and I'm just laying there listening. Then another one. And then another one. This went on 3 or 4 times at least. And then a large branch. There was no crack. There wasn't like a crack and then a crash. Just a large branch hit my tarp. It bounced the tarp down onto the hammock and then bounced off the tent. There was no movement, there was no nothing. Now, I don't know what it was. Leave the camera on for a bit, see if it picks anything up. What was that? I'm getting packed up. Stuff the bacon and walls. And there's this crash behind me, and literally this doesn't land coming down, it bounces towards me. It hit the floor and was still rolling towards me. This place is freaked out. Right, goodbye freaky woods. I'm never coming back here again. In there seemed to be where most of the noise was coming from. Okay, it froze there for some reason. Obviously it picked something up. When I zoomed in, it just shut down. There's a little creature. Oh, no, there he is. What is that? Oh. There was another mouse eating something. Nothing around there. What is that? There's 2 handprints. Just put my torch on. That wasn't there 2 seconds ago. I swear that wasn't there. There's 2. What the hell's that? That's showing up hot behind a bush. There's a hand mark on there. So it was in the early hours of the morning. There was some sunlight, or there was some daylight, but you can see something sort of down the bottom of the picture here move, and then the camera clicks a couple of times. So it's almost like something was trying to grab the camera, which is a bit odd, but then it just shut off. So
these traces could suggest a man attempting to scare campers, but that seems too tricky to pull off without being spotted by visitors. So, could it be evidence of ghostly figures? Or maybe just two teenagers doing what shouldn't be done on a tree? If you're reading this title on screen right now and you feel a bit of sympathy, then don't worry, my child. I'm fine, you don't have to worry. As if anyone cares in the first place, we are here for the scary stuff. Then wait until you see her without makeup. That's when you will surely know what true fear feels like when it shakes to your core. But based on what's written on the screen, what is it that actually hurts this badly? My back, after you know what. This is related to the next clip. Does watching it hurt our sight? Let me finish. We have Shahid and his friend. And you know, I didn't pick up the person's name when I said he was the friend of the other dude. They are both investigating this abandoned so-called house, which honestly looks anything but a house. Even if you say it was left before finishing the construction, it still looks more like a horror set for movies than a house. Based on the information I have, and I have none, we will get right into the adventure. They kicked in the investigation by going downstairs, and as they were checking around, the door behind them started shaking. How cold and creepy. But it wasn't due to the cold weather outside. No, it was the locker which was trembling in fear. But why? Who was behind that horrible paranormal activity? You just spoiled it yourself. It was paranormal. No one was behind that door. How fast that person was is what keeps me up all night. Person who? Never mind, let's continue. We get to see a replay of that chair-like thingy that was in the room they were checking before the door incident. It moved towards them. It seems like that replay was from their previous investigation of the same place. Later, as they were trying to pick something off the floor, here was where pain kicked in. A holy monster in the shape of a ghost crossing the speed of light and attacking them. Is that who pain is? Maybe if we were able to see the jinn, but basically, the dude trying to pick the thing from the ground was scratched from the back. As they were trying to bless the place, screams out of nowhere sent them jumping. In the end, I will keep it a surprise.
ये देखो यार, ये कैमरा करो, ये देखो बिल्कुल ना, मैंने आपको तब नहीं बताया जब मैंने अरे खुरम ये देखो ये देखो यार बाहर भी कोई नहीं है। बिल्कुल घिसट के इधर आई है वापस। मैंने खुद देखा है, जिसकी वजह से मैं वापस आ गया। आपने पूछा भी था मुझसे कि यार शायद क्या, लेकिन मैंने इस वजह से नहीं बताया। हाँ ये नींबू भी पड़े हैं। गरम चलो गरम चलो गरम चलो गरम। ओ यार यार बहुत से लगे। किधर यार? पीछे देखना है, 1 मिनट। शाहिद शाहिद बहुत बड़ा हाथ है यार, ये तो पीछे तुम्हें बाकी। ओ यार मेरी कमर ही नहीं सीधी हो रही यार। शाहिद बहुत जलन हो रही है इधर। यार खुरम उधर ऐसे लग रहा है आग जल रही है यार। वो देखो शाहिद आग। शाहिद ठहर ठहर शाहिद ठहर यार, आग। हाँ मैंने देखा यार, आग जल रही है इधर। इधर आग जल रही। बिस्मिल्लाह। शाहिद इधर आग जल रही है। शाहिद इधर आग जलती हुई नजर आई है। उधर ऐसे लग रहा है आग जल रही है यार। वो देखो शायद इधर आग जल रही थी। बिस्मिल्लाह। ओए ये देखो, डाल 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 डाल, ये देखो शायद डाल। ओए ये देखो, डाल 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 डाल, ये देखो शायद डाल। फौरन पीछे हो जाओ। चले, मुझे नहीं लगता कि कोई ऐसा मामला है। चलते हैं, वो पीढ़ी उठाएं। ओ यार, यार ये शाहिद, ये तो दोबारा मामला खराब हो गए हैं। शाहिद इधर आ यार वापस।
It wasn't that big of a surprise to see an object flying in the air like that. After all, you should expect everything from these types of videos. But what shocked me out of my seat was how long it kept floating until they noticed it. It's like gravity in cartoons. It's only effective once the character looks down. If you thought you heard a cat meowing in a certain way that you had never heard before, then when you hear the cow in the next video, you may never look at cows the same way again. Franco goes on a deep investigation of a cemetery he once investigated before, and in that previous investigation, which he was recording on a live stream, he caught something very terrifying. It looked like a figure of some sort. Back then, Franco thought it might be a dog, but his camera caught something far creepier. That part of the video is already included in the upcoming cut of the investigation. However, we need to pay attention to the current investigation. As he enters several aging mausoleums and examines family crypts, he becomes particularly interested in tombs that appear untouched for decades, containing old photographs, personal belongings, clocks, and even tiny children's caskets. Throughout the night, he repeatedly hears unexplained noises, including footsteps, knocking sounds, laughter, and bangs coming from inside sealed or abandoned structures. Several strange incidents occur during the investigation. Franco hears what sounds like someone touching metal gates, sees a mysterious object briefly pass in front of his camera, and notices doors that appear to have been opened unexpectedly. Though this didn't stop him from going further, which only got worse for him. His wife divorced him on the phone. He lost his car where he parked it, and the bank where he had his money went bankrupt. But in all seriousness, what actually happened is that inside one of the mausoleums, he caught something that chilled him down to his spine. A female figure dressed in white appeared to be inside that mausoleum. She appeared for a brief 2 seconds or something before she completely vanished. He tried to see if it could have been a human, not a ghost, but there was no way she would have entered and left that room if she were indeed a human.
That's a cow. Get my flashlight out. And it's gone. I'm looking. I don't see any cows anywhere. That is by far one of the creepiest things I've heard. It just sounds like a like super deep, but it happens randomly. There it is. Pretty sure that's a cow. It's kind of a spooky picture for me. I don't know why. Well, that was something I saw on the live stream, and it also has a clock. Right. What the was that? see if I can. Hello? That's the I'm talking about. Something just touched the gate, and I just heard what sounded like a giggle. Oh, what the was that? Something just passed. I don't know what that was, but I barely seen it. I saw it only on the camera, but something just kind of went right in front of the camera, went down to the left. I don't see any cars out front, so I don't feel like I'm in danger. But I don't know how long until a dog show up. Until a dog show up. So a dog show up. And I have not heard the sounds of the laughing that I heard, or the screams, or whatever sound like crying from what I heard in the live stream in just a minute ago when I was in the other mausoleum. Only the distant sounds of what sounds like a demonic cow that's just screaming out in the distance. What the is that? Hello? What the that is some creepy. It definitely came from one of these tombs. I don't know which one though. Can you make the banging sound again? Were you trying to get my attention? Keep banging for me. If you're still here with me, can you keep giving me a sound? Who's that? Roaming the area. Are they kids that play around here at night, or are they... Is this something supernatural? Is this something from the other side? Do you even know?
It's cold here.
It's cold here. It is cold. It is cold for me as well. How long has it been cold for you? Centuries? Maybe? Is it more than centuries?
Kids.
Kids. That's the second time I've gotten kids. Can you tell me how many kids? Look at this. Oh, what? There's somebody here. I just saw somebody staring at me from the window. It's locked. I can't even get into this thing. I think there's a huge train coming from behind me. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see anything. Let me see if I can go in from the back gate. What? There's somebody in here. That is definitely a train. Look at this. Oh, what the fuck? Look at this.
The question to Franco here is coming from me. How and why would there be cows near that place? And I don't think cows usually mow very late at night, and they definitely don't mow that way. I don't want to be that guy, but imagine you're a ghost, and you just happen to be stuck in a situation where you want to use a phone. I know this sounds ridiculous, but hang with me, it will make sense. As I said, somehow you needed to use a phone. You, as a ghost, linger inside a specific house, and then here come some visitors in the name of investigators. A chance is created for you. You try to make communication with one of them to ask to use his phone. But instead, he just gets scared. This is part of what the next video involves. Though the ghost that made an apparition didn't actually want to use the phone, we didn't really know why he made his appearance, but that's what I would assume he wanted based on the way he was standing. But how did these investigators get to this house to begin with? It's a vacant countryside home with a large Butsudan Buddhist altar. The owner reported that an unknown memorial portrait and ancestral tablets had appeared inside the home without explanation. Although the police were contacted, they dismissed the case as vandalism since nothing was stolen. A client took a photo of the portrait, but the camera broke immediately. Later, the portrait and ritual items mysteriously disappeared, even though the house had been locked. The Amagatoki team decided these were good enough stories that sounded legitimate to them, and here they come. At the beginning, they did report hearing sounds, faint sounds, but as they continued, one of them jumped after he might have seen something creepy that the rest of the team didn't notice. Though this poor guy gets it the most, as of later in the video, while they were trying to get upstairs while holding his camera, he took a quick look at the camera screen before he saw a fourth member watching over them from behind. Even though there were only them in the house, that terrifying appearance was seen even clearer when the man returned to the place to investigate alone after he lost a game of rock, paper, scissors with his team. When he returned, he caught a clear, scary apparition of what looked like an old man.
ん？なんかあるよ。何これ？うん。何これ？なんか板みたいなものが。そうだね。あれ、ここって本来何が置いてある場所なんだ？謎すぎるな。まあ一応戻しとくか。そうだね。まあでも家がね勝手にここに置かれていて、でそれを依頼者さん撮影したんだよね。次に来た時にはそれがもうなくなっていて、かと思いきやこの階段のところに置かれていたと。しないよ。じゃマジ下打ちっぽい聞こえたよね。聞こえた。下からなんかあれじゃない？その下打ちじゃなくてなんかたまたまなったトモさんの口。いい何もなってないから俺。本当？びっくりした。びっくりした。なんか落ちた？落ちた音だよね今の。まだ開いてないっしょ。いや開いてないね。一切風も入ってきてないはず。びっくりした。え、何が？下打ち。聞こえた？聞こえた。今聞こえなかった。聞こえた？どんな感じだった？今聞こえた。トムさんがしたんじゃなくて？俺じゃない本当に。どこからした？下だと思うよ。でマジでなんか誰かいやすいません。ちょっと待ってびっくりした。ちょっと待ってびっくりした。今誰かいたよ後ろ。T さんの後ろに。マジで？うん。マジびっくりした。ちょっと待って。
見間違いとかじゃなくて
T さんの後ろに誰か立ってたよ今。
さっきまでおったんや俺誰もおらんかったよ
いやいや、それはもちろんもちろん。見間違いがない今。ちょっと見てきて T さん。誰か立ってたよ。そこの階段の上から。
T さんの後ろってことで何じゃ
いや、なんかインカメがこれが。おお、ちょっと待って。びっくりした。ちょっと待って。びっくりした。まだ昼過ぎでこの暗さだもんな。ライトつけないと。
やばいね
誰かいいんだろうな。まだ多分乗っ取られたままなんだろうね。ちょっと待って、階段誰か降りてきてるかも。待って、今誰かいたよね今。やば、ちょっと待って。もうちょっと怖っ。ちょっと待って。今後ろに誰かいるの見えたんだけど、自分の影か。
The clip in which something was seen under the table is a bit confusing to me. I really don't understand what it's trying to show, but it seems something under the table appeared for a quick moment and disappeared. Look, when it comes to electronics malfunctioning, I'm completely aware of that. It's not like I was born yesterday. Though sometimes I don't know, I feel like I wish I was just born yesterday, so all this suffering I'm going through would be just gone. But then I think of it, there are people and things I love so much in my life, and a life in this day and age to start is way more difficult. What brought this conversation to this point? Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the malfunctioning of electronics. I mentioned that because in one of the clips in the subsequent sequence of clips, the TV begins acting on its own, flipping from one channel to another and adjusting the volume too, as if it gained consciousness all of a sudden. Though it wasn't the TV that gained consciousness at that moment. No, it was far scarier. The ghost was the one who was taking over the TV in that moment. You may ask me, what ghost? And I may answer you, do you think I have friends who are ghosts? The clips we have next revolve around a young girl and her boyfriend who recently moved into the new apartment where, shortly after, they began experiencing weird and what can only be described as ghostly related activities. Other than the TV incident I just mentioned, which happened late at night in the bedroom. One night, both of them were outside. When they came back, they looked at their apartment's window and saw what looks like a dark figure staring back at them from that window, so they rushed to the apartment and searched it all the way, but found no trace of an intruder. In another clip, while the girl was in the other room, she heard what sounds like things flipping around in the kitchen. When she got there, the kitchen was already a mess. Even inside one of the cabinets, there was something moving on its own.
Va a pasar todo esto. La concha de su hermana, hermano. Qué rompebolas que son. No paran un segundo. Miren cómo le baja el volumen y cambia el canal. Es re pesado. Hace 5 minutos más o menos que está así. Y es el único control que hay. No lo estoy usando. Y pone el mismo canal siempre. Así que es la vieja escuela. Es el único control que hay. Y no tenemos... Literalmente no hay otro. No lo estoy usando. Pero si yo pongo el otro... Me lo vuelve a bajar y me lo vuelve a cambiar. Es un patrón, parece que no quiere que veamos Gravity Falls y me lo baja. No lo voy a tocar más. Le vamos a tener que ver los picapiedras. Acá lo veo, pero el celular le da el reflejo. Literalmente no puedo ir al baño tranquila porque está él. Y no hay nadie en la casa. Nadie de nadie está en la casa. No, bueno. No, qué flaco, qué rompepelota, todo abierto. Todo. No, qué increíble. Nadie lo está haciendo, sino porque es esta huevada que no te para de romper las pelotas. Todo es ordenado. Todo. Todo abierto. No, qué manera de romper las bolas que tiene. Llegamos a la sesión y en la pieza, la cual estaba apagada, está las luces LED prendidas y no sé si alcanzan a ver esa silueta, sombra, no sé qué carajo es, pero hay alguien parado en la pieza y están literalmente nosotros dos acá. Miren, para que vean que de verdad no hay nadie, ¿eh? Subimos lo más rápido que pudimos y no hay nadie en la casa. No, encima miren, el control está en la cama. No, qué bronca. Y ni siquiera lo puedo pagar.
You know what's weirder to me than the whole paranormal activity? This is how we are living nowadays. 50 years ago, you could never live with what you call a boyfriend/girlfriend in one house. You were either a married couple or nothing. Nowadays, you can barely find a couple living together who are in fact married. It's always the most risky area when there are spirits of children lingering around, or at least rumors of it. Why, you may ask? Well, that's due to the fact that a child jinn is always playful, which means they always cause the most activity around, and we as humans tend to freak out the moment something in front of us moves unexpectedly without any real force to be seen or felt. So imagine a jinn who loves to mess around. So here come Colton and Casey. The two investigators decided to investigate the house of Oliver. This name may sound familiar, because you should already be aware that there are people called Oliver. How obvious. But that's not what I meant. There is an old animated movie where the main character's name is Oliver. I think he was a cat. What does that have to do with the investigation? I'm not so sure, but the backstory of the haunted house centers around a mysterious child spirit named Oliver. According to reports, the house is undergoing restoration, and during the remodeling process, workers have experienced unexplained phenomena. Tools have been mysteriously moved, and the atmosphere inside the house feels eerier than the cold exterior. These workers were under pressure and didn't sign for that. Maybe they should have expected such activity. The house is ancient. There has to be a bit of paranormal activity here and there. The investigators had to confirm if these rumors were true, and right away, the confirmation came as positive. As they walked in, the EMF detectors and other devices were detecting activity and picked up what the ghosts were saying. Not so long after, they hear a strange sound of something banging repeatedly. Turns out it was a basketball that was rolling down from upstairs mysteriously. That moment reminded me of a horror animated movie where a basketball was involved. The longer the investigation took, the more intense the activity became. Motion detecting balls are lighting simultaneously and moving, footsteps, and at some point, a box spring fell from its place. The activity became more apparent when they decided to use the Ouija board.
These things are going nuts.
Oh yeah, you know what? Good. Hopefully this one goes nuts too.
Yeah.
Let's see. What'd it say?
I'm scared.
I'm scared. Okay, well, we know that we're here to communicate with the spirit of a little boy. Goes by the name Oliver. If you're here with us right now, Oliver, can you come close to one of these devices? Can you use the device and call? What is that? What the is that, dude?
That sounded like footsteps.
What did that say?
You shouldn't be here.
Hello?
No way.
What the?
Where the did that even come from?
Yeah. Is it all right if we're in your house right now with you? We just heard you say friend.
God.
God.
Are you searching for God? Are you waiting for God? Did you expect to meet God and you haven't?
Bunch of...
You can select from the words in the ghost tube obelisk, or you can come near that
It's got a little green light.
Oliver, we have a bunch of devices that we're gonna test tonight. We're gonna go grab a few more. We have what? What?
Was that there the whole time?
It was in this room. Where was it when we came
I
in?
sworn that corner was empty.
Did that just move right now?
I have no idea, dude.
Did you happen to catch it on camera?
I'm gonna have to look.
Okay. Yeah, let's get a static camera up here.
Okay.
And I think we should put some REM pods in the hall.
That's a good idea. We'll definitely put something right there to work.
Did you hear it sounded like maybe 3 footsteps or something?
No.
It's like no.
Not even in my shoes. There's a bunch of crazy writing on the walls. For whatever reason, though, it seems like we're getting the most activity. Maybe that was Oliver's room?
Yeah.
Oliver, was this your room over here? Oliver, is that you? Are you lighting up that device right now?
What the hell is triggering that thing?
It just stopped.
Bro. Corner of my eye. Look at that.
We also had the static camera in that room the whole time, and the static camera actually captured all 3 of these lighting up on their own, which is pretty incredible.
I think I'm gonna get the Ouija board, man. Whoa!
What
Bro,
the fuck did you just do?
I didn't do. That thing just fell. Do you not want us to get the Ouija board? Did you catch that?
I think so, yeah.
You got that on your camera too?
Whoa!
Huh. Okay. If you don't want us to use the Ouija board. Are you gonna say something? Seems like you have a very strong presence here. You ready?
Yep.
Alright, let's do it. Okay. Alright, let's spin it 3 times.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oliver, we know that you're here. You've shown us a ton of signs and activity tonight. Can you just spell something out on this board for us one time and deliver a message? Can you tell us what you want?
Can you help us better understand what you're trying to tell us? Why you're moving objects? You can tell us how old you are. You can tell us with the numbers down there, the last year you remember. You can make it so that
Yeah, that's the You hear footsteps? It's like someone walking. Oh, bro, what the happening right now? Holy dude!
it just went.
Yeah, there's like, don't go to goodbye.
I can't take my hands off.
Don't go to goodbye yet.
Oliver, if that's you, can you please spell something on this board? We can hear you. We know that you're present.
You know you're in trouble, and it won't be easy to get rid of the jinn once you know it's a child. They are, as I mentioned, playful, and as you just saw in the video, they use the basketball to convey their message, even though it was only Oliver. You have definitely heard of grandparents' houses being haunted before. It's a known trend, though usually it's regular houses, not apartments or RVs, normal old houses. Though in the next video, this completely changes the narrative and introduces a new type of grandparent haunted venues. As the story goes something like this: a lady has lost her grandfather back in 2024. He lost his life inside his trailer. That's the full story, but ever since, that trailer has been left abandoned, sort of. This is the moment where ghosts took over and lived there rent-free. The lady seems to be an adult, though in the video she sounded more like a teen girl for some reason. That's not our subject for the matter. What we are circulating around is what she caught in the footage. It seems like she had previous experiences in that trailer seeing creepy stuff, so for some reason she decided to visit the trailer in the dead of night, only so she could capture something peeking at them from inside by the window, while at the same time, the door of that trailer was caught moving on its own. The other clip confirms that there must be something living in there, and focusing, I said something, not someone, because by the looks of it, it has translucent white material to it.
There's nobody, Mama. Open that window and Grandpa's.
Dude, look.
I don't like it. I see it. Right into the house. Yeah, now go pee.
You think somebody's in there?
No, like right into the house with the car.
Oh.
Out of that window and Grandpa's.
Dude, look.
I don't like it. I see it. Right into the house. Yeah, now go pee.
You think somebody's in there?
No, like right into the house with the car.
That most likely the grandfather himself. Before you jump on me and begin banging me, I'm referring to him as a spirit here. Maybe he didn't want anyone to inherit his assets after his passing, or maybe he just loved that trailer so much that he didn't want to leave it even after he was buried. Also, there is another theory. Maybe that's the spirit of his wife, the grandma. No one really knows who could be still lingering in there though. What I know for sure is that if you're still lingering in the video, you should subscribe and watch the next video on screen.